Alright, so for the second video, I'll be talking about the combat stuff. I mean the basic combat stuff of what we would expect you to do when you start performing the dungeon. Now keep that in mind that in this video that I will not be talking about the basic combat stuff of things like, mm, let me think, dodge, how to attack, how to use your skill, and avoid the AoE red circle from the mobs on the ground, because those are very basic essential, so we would expect you to have that kind of knowledge already. In this video we are going to talk about how you can improve yourself using different skill set, and how would a party expect you to perform in terms of having the maximum damage to kill the mobs and having an effective run in the dungeon itself. So keep that in mind. Now, another thing that because in this video I might make a mistake, or I might forget about things. So if you have any suggestions, or if you have any ideas that can help me to improve this video, feel free to leave me a comment below. And if you prefer, feel free to give me a private message using the YouTube system, or you can leave me the private message on the forum as well, or in game, or whatever you prefer to do so, so I can improve this video and the quality itself. So moving on to the first issue that we are going to cover in this video is the might stacking. Now the might stacking or might is a very important concept in this dungeon running. Might is a very important boon, which is a, in the simplest definition that I can give you, is a positive effect that is going to help you and your team. Now what it does is it will increase your power and condition damage that can stack up to 25 stacks, and the formula for that is 0.375, and it timed to by your level and +5, which will give you the power and condition damage per stack. But I don't expect you to memorize this one. Honestly, like who would give a shit about a formula? Uh, for people like you and me. So, but if you want it, you can have a look at it in here. Or if you are planning to have a, the analysis, like I know some people, they analyze when is the best time for my stack, and when is the best time for to use all the skills, and how they can maximize their damage for their character. So if you are that type of person, then yeah, the formula is right here. Or you can have a look at the wiki, official keywords to wiki. Is up there, so you can have a look at yourself and work out which way is the best way to maximize your character damage per second. Now at level 80, the bonus for the damage is 875 for the power damage, which is raw power damage, and the condition damage as well. Now in the party, you want to maintain the might stack as 25 as much as you can, because at 25 might stack it will give a lot of damage to the team itself, and it will make killing the boss and the mobs way faster, and time is money. So you want to get maintain the 25 might stack as much as you can, so you can kill faster and get a dungeon done faster. Now the might stacking can also be applied to you yourself, and it can also apply to your party depending on the skill set that you use. So some classes, they can might stack themselves, but they cannot might stack the other people in the party, or their might stack to the party is very limited. For example, the thief class. I play a lot of thieves, and I noticed that for the thief, the skill set for might stacking for the party itself is very limited. I mean, I can might stack myself, but if I want to help out the team, it doesn't really work that well for me because Thief doesn't have a lot of my stacking abilities that I can support my team. So just keep that in mind. Oh, and because of that, I would strongly advise you to go to the forum and have a look at the professions. Um, Navigate into your class and see what you can learn from there, because I am not an expert in every single class in the game, so I cannot give you a comprehensive video about can I how you can improve your class to the maximum level, because I'm not an expert in every single class, so I cannot tell you which class is which build for that class is the best, because in the game different situation requires different skill set and different builds, so I cannot give you that. So I would strongly advise you to learn about your class, going to the official forum, Guild Wars 2 forum, and look out at the look it up at the professions thread, and have a look at what people can advise you in there. Alternatively, you can have a look at on YouTube, so that you can learn about the skill rotation. There are many people on YouTube that will that upload their video about their class and their rotation and the skill set and stuff like different situations. So it will be better for you to just have a look at the official forum and on YouTube, or you can ask people in my if you are in my guild, you can ask people around on how you can improve uh, improve your play style for your class. And if you have any questions like that, just ask people in the guild and they are happy to help you out. Alright, so moving on to the skill set that we are going to use. Now keep in mind that this is a dungeon stuff, so it will be in a party. Now I know that some people in the guild, myself as well, that sometimes that we run soloing a dungeon. Sometimes that we run with 2 people, or sometimes we only run with 3 to 4 people. So for those people like me and some other people like dungeon frequenter, um, soloing, so I will leave that in for another time. But for this basic video, I would expect you to run as 5 people, because there's no point to run the um, dungeon itself if you are not familiar with it, and so there's no point of soloing a dungeon or doing a dungeon itself if you're not familiar with it. So I will leave the soloing stuff or doing stuff and tripling stuff, or like some of the um, or some of that concept for another time. Alright, so as a party of 5 people, there are these are the skills that people usually use to mightstack the team to 25 stacks and to maintain the mightstack for the team. So for the Guardian, the most common that I have seen is Empower, which is using the staff weapon, and the skills is on your 4th slot, which will give you 25 mightstacks for one press of the button. Very easy. For Warrior, you have the Signet of Rage, which is a elite skill, and it will give you 5 mightstack for 30 seconds. Now that's a lot. 30 seconds is a lot. And the second one that I have seen Warrior been using is for Great Justice. And just give me 1 second. Alright, because I don't want to disconnect from my game. Alright, so for the utility skill for Great Justice, you have 3 mightstack for one press of the button, so that's 8 mightstack easily. Now for Ranger, you have Call of the Wild, which is the Warhorn skill, last skill on your weapon skill, and it has a combo field blast as well. So it gives you 1 mightstack, but like 1 mightstack, oh, it's nothing. But the thing is that sometimes there's combo field. I'm just using Ranger as an example for combo field in this in this case for one might stack, because some people they say that, oh, one might is nothing, but I can I can assure you that one might sometimes it can help a lot, like a lot, in terms of combo field and stuff like that, to to continuously stacking your might stuff up for the party up. So combo field in this regard is very important as well. And I will explain what is combo field and stuff like that in a second, which is why I have my elementalist right here, just getting ready for me to show you combo field and stuff like that. And the another one which is very interesting is engineer. Now there are several builds that allow the might stack to stack up quite high, but I am not an engineer. I'm not an expert in engineer myself, so I cannot give you a comprehensive build that can, or rotation that can provide you how you can stack your mic up to 25 or so, or a decent amount or a high amount. So because I'm not an expert in engineer myself, so I can't give you that. So I would strongly uh, recommend you to go to the forum and have a look at the engineering section and learn the class yourself. The reason why I'm using engineer as an example in here is because I have seen people that they use engineer and they are very effective. So yeah, just go to the forum, or you can ask people around the guild for advice, or go into YouTube and ask people for the advice. That works too. Now elementalist, this one is my favorite, my stacking class, because it has so many my stacking skill and combo field that you can reach up to 25 using the right combination by itself. Just one class, and you can reach up to 25 my stack using the right combination. So it's a very useful class for any dungeon type. So in my opinion, I would say that elementalist is the best my stacking class in the game, just in my opinion. So yeah, uh, different people have different opinion, but in my opinion, elementalist is the best my stacking class in the game. And I will show you a demonstration of how my stacking uh, works for the elementalist just by itself. Now some people they would prefer to my stack up to 25, but in my tag element, because this is a party, a dungeon is a party, um, what do you call it, dungeon is a party event and it requires teamwork. So some people they prefer to my stack up to 25 for their elementalist, but for me, because when I run the dungeon I always have people from different class running with me at the same time, so I don't really um, pay attention to that much in terms of my stacking myself to 25, because I have all the people that will help me to get to 25. So when I start running elementalist myself, I always aim to get at least 15 my stacks. Minimum is 15. Alright, so I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration of the elementalist of how I can get to um, 15 my stack. Now, I should have explained a little bit more into for the combo field. Now, have a look at this. This is the combo field and it has fire. Now, combo field is, in a simplest definition I can give you, is that the combo field is either a benefit that for your team, or it can be a burst damage to your, or AoE effect damage to your enemies. So it can be either AoE benefit or AoE damage to your enemies, whatever works. So when you use the combo field, and if you have the combo finisher to stack on top of that, some of the combo finisher will bust the damage and deal a massive damage to the enemies. But it can also, some of the combo field that will provide you um, a positive effect like my stacking and stuff like that. So as you can see in this Phoenix combo field that I mean a combo finisher that I have, the damage, the explosion damage, which is the burst damage that if I cast on top of my combo Ring of Fire field, it will give 1,397 damage to the enemies, but it can also give me the might area effect of might as well. So I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of the mightstack to 15 mightstacks. Just keep that in mind that when I do this video, my internet connection wasn't really that good, so I might myself if I do mess it up, I will just show you the video that I did with my friend earlier, um, so you can have an idea. But here we go. No, nope. I'm having about 2-second delay. Alright, never mind. I'm just going to show you the video that I made earlier today. Actually, it was in the morning today.
A splendid combination.
Now this is two people. One of my friend Kevin, and he is using a guardian, and after that he used the staff, so he empowered me so that 12 my stacks, and I stack the might up to 24 in this one. So let me just slow the movie down a little bit. So at first I start my rotation with Ring of Fire, and after that I cast my Phoenix. That's give me area might. Right after that I right click on I click on my um, this one, Arcane Wave, and that will give me another 3 might stack for my character and my team, because the area might effect will give the give the might effect, stacking effect to the entire party, so just keep that in mind.
A splendid
After that I use my healing to give me another might stack,
combination.
and I use the Earth Attunement to stack another one, and after that I start using my last one for 24 might stacks. But usually I don't use the last one because of when I start running a party, I always run with 5 people. Now when I start running with 5 people, there will always be 1 or 2 people that will help you might stacking. So you don't necessarily have to do this all by yourself, and you can just rely on some other people to provide you the remaining benefit. So you can focus on other things. What other things that you like I should be aware of? Like if you ask me, like what other things that I should be aware of, it will be positioning, and it will be the damage, the combat damage. So in this one, I already stack my might up to 16, and I use my elite skill, which is a Fiery Greatsword, and this is my elite skill, so it deals a lot of damage. And because we position ourselves at the corner of the map, and we try to lure the mobs to this corner right here, and once the boss, actually it's a boss, so once the boss coming to us, we stack the entire team together, because when we stack the entire team together, it gives me the opportunity to might stack the entire team to 16 might, as you can see in this video, 16 might, entire team, not just me. And after that, other people in the group, like the warrior itself, like he only used for great justice, I think. Actually, he didn't use for great justice. he used a signet of the rage. Was it? Yeah, signet of rage. 5 my stack for 30 seconds. So he used that one, and it will give us about 5 my stacks. And after that, I push it off using um, my other skill to my stack. But I didn't get up to 16 by myself because in the team I have a guardian which can give me another 12 my stacks, and I have another elementalist as well which she can give me another 25 my stacks. So I don't really have to go all out and then start getting the 25 my stack all by myself. So I can just happy to sit between 15 or 12 depending on the team setup. But usually I would make it my minimum standard is to have 15 my stacks. That will be my minimum standard to get 15 my stacks. Alright, so after that, when you position yourself, I mean at the team position at the back of at the corner of the map, when the boss comes right up. Now, because the boss in in this dungeon itself, Sorrow's Embrace Path 1, they have a quite strong range attack, so that's why the Guardian put up the shield to reflect any projectiles back to the boss itself, so it can negate any of that range damage to the team, so we can survive a little bit longer. And after that, we start using all of our skills to the boss. And as you can see, that it goes down rapidly.
Fire burns!
All 3 of them, not just one. So if we spread out, it would take a lot longer for us to kill. And from that, it's about 12 seconds for us to kill this one. So I would say that this is quite a good number. But I know that some people that they have done it in about 8 seconds or something like that. They can done it faster, so it's good for them. But usually we would want to have it to kill as fast as we can, so we can move on to another dungeon, start earning some quick money and tokens. But that being said, some bosses are not recommended. I would not recommend you to stack together because sometimes they have say if your network is quite lagging or they have a devastate AoE effect, it will kill the entire team. So I would say that this boss is a good idea for us to spread out. So before before we engage in the boss, my rotation that I will might stack the entire team because that's what I usually do. I might stack the entire team, not the entire team, but some of my teammates because they all spread out. But usually, if they stick together, I might stack the entire team. So I use my rotation.
Feel Grid's icy embrace.
Stack up as high as I can. And then after that we spread out because see, this is the AoE damage spell from the boss, and because this boss in particular it has a very strong AoE effect. So if you stack it up, say right here, so say for example, if your network is unstable and if you told and some other people that are unstable as well, if you make a mistake, just imagine that you make a mistake, it will kill the entire team and it's a waste of time. So for some bosses it will be a good idea to spread out, but for usually like generally we prefer you to stack up. I have seen and I did test my stack, I mean like close stack for this one. Last time that I used it was somewhere around here, but that was a few months ago. I don't know if it's working right now, but a few months ago we might stack right in this corner, and we have the boss coming right after us, and we just might stack and kill him. But after that, we still spread out because of the AoE effect is so strong that we are forced to spread out. But generally, we would not spread out for other bosses, but some bosses we have to. So keep that in mind. So it depends on the dungeon itself as well. Now, moving on to, yeah, I already say that. So yeah. Now for the build and your class. Now for the dungeons, I strongly advise you to run Berserker build because Berserker build is the highest build that you can get in the game. Highest damage that you can get in the game. Berserker gear is this one right here. Power, precision, and ferocity. This is my elementalist Berserker gear. So I use power, precision, and ferocity, and I stack it up with ruby of effect, which is power, ferocity, and precision. Now for the trinket, I use Celestial. Now some of you might say, okay, you recommend us to use the um, Berserker gear, but why are you using this? Now I'm using this because I have my own reason. It's because I frequently use my elementalist to solo PvE content, and because sometimes when I start soloing PvE content, I prefer a little bit of survival. So that's why I use Celestial. But sometimes in the dungeon, I switch back to my Celestial because of it gives me a little bit of survival as well. So I would strongly recommend you to use Berserker gear. But if you're comfortable with using like Celestial gear or um, that, it's fine as well. But still, Berserker gear is the highest damage gear in the game. Yeah, I mean like build damage gear in the game. So just stick with that. It can also be understood at critical damage as well. So whatever name that you want to call it, like Berserker build or critical damage build, it means the same thing. Now, for some classes, they are quite squishy, which is why I sometimes in the PvE, when I start doing ward poses like Joe Mag, I I tend to use a little bit of Celestial gear just to give me a little bit of survival. Now, condition build is not an ideal for dungeon running because the damage is horrible for dungeon running. So just don't use any condition build. And for some people, for some dungeon frequenters, they are very strict about gears. So if they see you using any condition build or condition gear, they'll kick you out. So just keep that in mind. Now there are multiple berserker builds that you can go for, but I'm not I'm not an expert in every single class. Sorry, I'm not an expert in every single class, so I cannot advise you which build is the best. So again, go to Gearworks 2 and go to the forums. Yeah, as I said earlier, I'm lagging quite badly tonight for some reason. Go to the professions. This is what you will be looking for your class build and stuff like that, and you can ask people for advice in that as well. And yeah, for the gears and for the build, just use exotic berserker. If you can get extended, go for it. And for trinket accessory, you can do the dailies and monthly to get the loyal points and exchange it for extended quality. Now for the fractals of the mist dungeon, I will make a separate video to talk about the gears that you need for the fractal of the mist dungeon, because this dungeon requires a special gear to survive. And for a quick overview, I would recommend you to have the ascended gears for minimum to have some accented items like accessory and rings and amulet for and the back piece as well for the um, fractals of the mist dungeon. I'll explain it in more detail uh, in my uh, separate video for Dungeon 101. And lastly, that all the skills that you can support to your team that I already mentioned in the videos before, that depending on the situation, you might want to have your team using different skill sets. So when the boss that use range attack to your team, the guardian can use the wall reflection and reflect the projectiles back to the boss. So that can negate the damage to the team. And the mesmer, she or he can use the time grab and give the team a speed boost that can attack faster and kill the mobs faster. And sometimes in a raid dungeon, you might want to skip a lot of mobs. So when I start running a raid dungeon, if I use my thief, I will use that refuge to stealth the entire team and skip some of the useless mobs that are unnecessary to kill. Now, depending on the situation, you might want to use a different skill set for your team, skill set for your class. Perfect example for this is, let me have a look at the guardian. A guardian, and let me have a look at the thread for the guardian. This is the one. Now, nearby allies gain toughness depending on your effective level. So this one will give you 150 toughness, 150 toughness for the entire party. However, if you have 2 guardians in your team, it will not be a good idea. Why? Because this does not stack. Now, allies nearby multiple guardians with this threat we only receive it effects once. So when you have 2 guardians in the team, it will not give the benefit. It will not stack it up to 300 toughness. It will always keep it as 150 toughness. So just keep that in mind and talk to your team and to change it to, if you have 2 guardians, the other guardian has to change his threat to another one. Same thing with warrior. 4 banners. There are 5 banners in the game, but usually I have seen when I run dungeon, people usually use power disciplines and power of strength. Now, if you have say for example, if you have 3 warriors in the team, each of them has to decide which banner they want to go for, because they don't stack, because the banner don't stack. So one of them might have to go for banner defense, the other one have to go for discipline, and the other one has to go to the strength. So all in all, I would say that master your class, understand which one that doesn't stack and which one is stacking, so that you can support your team and maximize the damage that dealing on the mobs. And also understand your skill rotations, and to do that you need to, again, I understand that I've been saying that for the past however long that is, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but you need to go to your professions. If you don't understand, or you haven't have a clue of how to play your class effectively, please go to the professions, and please go to your forum, like say for example warrior, and ask people for advice. Now you can, I'm not saying this is the only source that you can go for. You can ask the people in the guild. If you are in my guild, you can ask people in the guild. If you you can have a look at YouTube as well. YouTube, simple warrior guild wars 2 rotation. See, that's a lot. A lot of people, they will teach you how to do, I mean like how to do a good rotation that can maximize your damage to the boss and to the mob as well. Just pick any of them and see what that guy's talking about and learn from them. Because the last thing that we want to happen in the dungeon is that you don't understand your class, you don't know what skill is useful, and then you mess it up and like ruin the entire run for everybody else. So just keep that in mind. Now that is the last issue. That was the last issue that I want to cover in this video, and I will see you in the next video to cover some other stuff. But again, I am strongly, if you don't know how to play your class effectively, I am strongly advise you to find that one out and master it. And also, if you have any questions in regard to my stacking, or if I make any mistake, and if you want to give me some advice on how I can improve my video, feel free to drop a comment, or feel free to let me know private message in on YouTube or in my guild or whatever. Just give me a message on suggestions that you think that would be applied, that we apply to this video on how to improve in this video. And if I make any mistake and forget to include a particular thing or anything like that, just please give me suggestions and I will improve that in my next video or redo this one. Oh, I almost forgot. Another trick that I would like to show you is that for Greatsword, to do the maximize, to maximize the damage through the Greatsword using, yeah, as you can tell, like I'm having 2-second delay. Now imagine that this one is stacking with me. I can use Whirlwind to do the maximum damage. So like Whirlwind can be used to escape, as you can see. It can be used to escape from one way to the other, or it can use to deal a lot of damage to the entire mobs. But if you want to maximize your Whirlwind attack for the Greatsword, if you want to maximize that, the best way is to have the mobs coming close to you right around the corner. Like stack right next to you, which is why we stack at the corner so that mobs can come up to us, and after that we can deal maximum damage. Yeah, see? Alright, so that is one of the tricks that you can use to maximize your Greatsword Whirlwind damage. So again, if you have any comments, suggestions, advice, and on how I can improve my video, feel free to give me a comment below or private message. If you want to if I forget anything like that, and if you want to remind me, feel free to do that as well, and I can include it in my next video, or I can just give a notice on this video that I forget to include this one, so people will see. And alright, aside from that, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. I will cover some other issues for the Dungeon 101. Alright, so have fun.